I'll start off. I got it. It's painfully obvious we didn't meet the standard that we want to play at. Our competitive juice. I think we made a little bit of a run there at the end of the second quarter, but the second half was not a representative of what we want to be like and who we have been lately. We have to own that, and we got to buckle down and get better and get ready for the next game, but that was not up to our standard tonight.
Brian, given that there were a lot of injuries and giving players opportunities for bigger roles, how do you explain the lack of energy, the lack of effort?
Don't have the answer for that. That's something we're going to have to dig into. I think we all have to own that, myself included, all of us together. We're in this together. Take a look at where we faltered. But that was painfully obvious that didn't reach the standard of our play. It's something we can address. We look at it tomorrow, and we'll get back to work, and we'll be better on Saturday.
After a night like this, would you consider wholesale changes to the rotation to make a point that you want a certain standard met game in, game out?
The problem is we've been actually reaching that pretty much lately. And tonight we had a step back. We had to reevaluate what we're doing. Now we have to look at ourselves in the mirror, as we always do here. We're not ever pointing fingers. We never talk about people not being in the lineup. We come here to play, and we didn't have that necessary force that we have been playing with lately.
Coach, when you say it didn't meet the standards, is that speaking about effort?
We have a certain expectation of how we want to play, and I think we have seen this lately that we can play physical, we can defend, we can disrupt people, we can really move the ball and share it, and we play with a certain pace. I didn't see those things out there in the game. You can call that what that is, but it's just the way we play, and I didn't see our identity of how we played basketball, and that's not acceptable.
After a loss like tonight, what's the proper timeline, you think, for acknowledging that it was bad before washing your hands of it and getting ready for the next game?
Well, these ones you should be upset with. We should all be upset, so you use this as few.
Coach, what has Will shown you over these past couple of games, getting more extended run, and what do you want him to keep working on?
Now you can see his end. He actually was one of the guys who was out there bringing it. You can see his offensive rebounding, his cutting, his ability to make plays. I thought he gave us a nice little burst when he was in the game tonight. He's still a growing and evolving player, but he's doing the right things on the court.
And same for Jameer with his first start tonight.
Yeah, we wanted to give Jameer the chance. I thought he actually did some really positive things early in the game, defensively, and then even offensively, getting us moving, and some of the things he was doing off ball was helpful. Again, we're like where Jameer at, and he's going to be a good player for us.
You're down 7 entering halftime,
Yep.
and then things unravel from there. What did you see in the third and fourth quarters as the game slipped away from you? Was it energy? Was it lack of communication, execution?
You got to give them credit a little bit, too. They made some shots. We had some turnovers, though, playing in crowds. They had some runouts, just kind of compiled. That was what we weren't pleased with, is that we usually would have a good run to fight back like we did in the first half. We didn't have that edge to get back into the game to make one final push.
Keyshawn went 5 of 7 from the field, but only 1 shot in the second half. Did he seem why the low shot attempts for him?
Nothing to do with him. Just the flow of the game. That stuff happens. That's normal stuff.
Hey, Coach. What do you think needs to change in preparation for y'all to have a better second half going down the stretch?
We have been doing that, so we just got to remember what we're capable of. We actually have been playing good basketball here. We've won 2 and 3 in our last 5 games, not tonight. So we're playing better stretches, more consistent. We didn't have it tonight. We have to acknowledge that. We have to look at ourselves, and we have to get better.
No, I think transition was huge. They ended up scoring 43 points in the third quarter. I think transition was a problem. I had 4 turnovers, so the turnovers were also a problem. A lot of our turnovers led to transition, fast break threes, fast break layups, or just opportunities where it was just harder to defend. I think we did a pretty decent job in the half court of making it tough. Obviously, they took 47 threes. A lot of them were open in transition. A lot of them were offensive rebounds, things like that, that we can kind of prevent by just taking care of the ball, making smarter, sound decisions.
With a deficit as large as tonight's game, what should be the feeling, the mood in the locker room for players?
This is the second time the Celtics have blown us out. I think it's about really looking from within, figuring out how you can be better individually. Obviously, this is a team that switches. They shoot a lot of threes. They play physical. They play a different brand of basketball where they go small. Obviously, they switch a lot. So I think it's about really looking from within and figuring out how to improve our mindset, how to improve our approach, and then how to be consistent throughout a game. 7-point game shouldn't balloon the way it did tonight.
CJ, did you feel like the effort was where the defensive effort team wide was where it needed to be?
I think we all got to do a better job of communicating. I missed the red on one of the switches with Hauser. I think we just got to be more physical. I think it starts with that. JC was great in terms of his physicality, and I think he changed the game, brought energy. Obviously, a big play offensively, but I think we have to have more, of a physical presence defensively. That means just active hands. That means, you're going to get fouls and things like that, but I think we need more aggressive behavior on that side of the ball, and I think that will transition to us playing better on offense.
CJ, what kind of growth have you seen out of Will Riley this season?
Yeah, Will can hoop. I mean, we said it right away when we seen him in camp. He's aggressive. He can get downhill. He's got great pivots, good feet, good basketball IQ. Obviously, you guys have seen what he's done in the G League and what he did in college, but I think, his game definitely translates to the NBA, and as he gets more comfortable, gets more experience, a lot of people will be able to see, his development and growth too.
CJ, is there any advice that you've given so far in the locker room to any of the young guys just coming over a loss like this?
I mean, it just happened a little bit ago. I think it's just about, watch the film, right? Digest it, and then continue to stack your days with your approach, watching film, getting your daily vitamins, getting your work in. I get my lifting after the game, and then, I'm in the cold tub. I'm doing what I need to do to recover, and I think it's about breaking down your day and just kind of, checking your boxes and making sure you're doing what you're supposed to do individually each day, and you bring that to the team collectively so that as long as you're focusing on your approach, focusing on your consistency, focusing on your work ethic, I think the results will come, and there won't be as many nights like tonight.
And you mentioned saying just staying consistent. When it comes to practice, as one of the vets, are you just kind of practicing that physicality, just trying to make it more game-like for them, especially after the tough nights like this?
I think we got to work on our switches defensively. We got to work on how to operate against switches. So I think that's something that we can all do, and something that will be helpful for us because we need to get better defensively at it. We need to get better offensively at it, and I'm sure that'll be a point of focus along with transition, along with boxing out, and just the overall way we have to start halves. We started the game kind of slow. I had a turnover early at half court, and then we got back into the game, and then we started the second half slow. So the starters got to do a better job, including myself, of getting off to better starts at the beginning of the game and then at halftime, after halftime as well.
You guys had 21 assists and 18 turnovers. Was that a matter of ball movement? What do you think was the issue there?
I think it was both. I think they did a good job defensively of being aggressive and physical, and then I think we just made some poor passes. I had a couple turnovers. We had some where we were actually trying to make the right play and just turn it over, but I think overall we got to be more aggressive with our cuts, fighting for our space, screens. When they're in a switching defense, you got to screen your own sometimes. You got to be slips, things like that.
Boston, they came out, wanted to push the tempo, shoot a lot more threes, crash, be a little more physical, just got to be more into the game. Simple as that, just got to be more into it.
Did you feel like effort was an issue?
I'm going to say that. I feel like guys go out there and try to give it their best. At times we get down, we hang our heads. At times when things don't go our way. And, sometimes that's just, a bad habit of a young team. So hopefully we could get out of this habit sooner than later. But no, I think for the most part, effort is there. It's just sometimes we let our heads hang too low and for too long at times.
How should players, especially the younger players on the team, feel after a loss like this?
I'm not going to tell, how guys to feel. Sucks losing. I don't think anybody in the locker room wants to lose. We all handle, different things in different ways. So, I've had, losses where I sit here and laugh sometimes about it. Sometimes we have to laugh at it. Sometimes we're pissed about it. Everybody has their own unique way. But as a team, I know that we're hungry, disappointed in ourselves, that, we could put up, a better fight. So hopefully we'll see.
Khris, it seems like this team has a lot of games where the one half is very well played. The second half, not as much. What do you think is the reasoning behind that?
Just got to have to focus for 48 minutes. It's hard to win in this league. It's hard to beat any team. So just got to put our mindset, to playing a full 48 minutes, not letting one quarter, one half, one possession be good enough for us and be okay with that. We have to play a complete game from start to finish.